Howdy.
Oh my god.
How are you? You're live on Twitch. How's it going, buddy?
Fine, it's my second time.
Hell yeah. Alright, so you're wanting to learn how to do Raxxor, right?
Yes.
Alright, what gear do you have on right now, as far as range goes?
Range gear?
Yes.
Armadillo.
Is that that's what you're wanting to do it with, right? Range?
I don't care. What is the best attack style to do it?
Well, I mean, it honestly depends on your personal preference of what it is that you really enjoy doing. But a lot of people say that range is the easiest. I don't believe that personally. I think melee is the easiest because you can kill it faster. I mean, melee is a faster combat style for DPS because specifically you can use Berserk. But a lot of people recommend using range only because it's easier to deal with the mechanics from a distance than it is up close with melee. So I mean, my personal preference, I love range and it's my favorite, and I would prefer you to use range if it was up to me. But if it's up to you, it's whatever you want to do. You know what I mean? Like I said, it's whatever your personal preference is. But I could best describe it doing range though, because that's all I do. I don't do it any other way.
Okay, I'm with you.
All right. So what I would do is I would get an overload.
I have one.
Match my inventory here. Get an overload. Get an adrenaline flask. Grab 2 super restore 6. And then I'd grab about 8 to 12 brews, just in case you fully understand, or just until you fully understand the boss, until you can go down to about 4 brews. And then I'd fill up the rest of your inventory and your pack yak with rocktail or shark.
What's the difference between brews and food? Like, why you take brews?
Because in an instance where I'm really low health, I can keybind, I have my food and my brew keybound to where I can use them both at the same time. So, for example, if I ate a beltfish and drank a brew at the same time, that would heal me for 2650 health, which is a pretty good chunk of health.
Okay.
And you can do the same thing with rocktail or rocktail soup or shark, anything, any type of food. You can do the same exact thing. You can actually eat and drink a potion at the same time. Now, simply because of the fact that you're going to be overloaded, your stats will be renewing over time. So normally when you drink a Sarah brew, it lowers your stats, but since you're going to be overloaded, it won't really affect you. What I would do is I would instantly go ahead and keybind your deflect from magic and your deflect from range, and you kind of want to either practice. I always tell people Jad is the best practice for Raxxor when it comes to the prayer switch, because normally when you're doing Jad from a distance, it's the same thing as Raxxor. All you're doing is switching between protect from magic and protect from range. Now that's only on phase 4. During phase 1, 2, and 3, all you're going to be doing is protecting from magic. Also, I do use my Anguish Curse. It's the T95 prayer. You don't necessarily have to use that. All that does is increase your DPS.
Okay.
What kind of bow do you have on?
I'm with the chaotic.
Chaotic crossbows?
Yes.
Alright. I would definitely recommend investing into getting better weaponry as far as that goes. What kind of gear do you have?
Armadillo. I just got Act like 2 months ago, so I'm like building up.
Well, you can easily do racks with that gear, but the thing about it is it's going to be a lot easier with better gear, but with practice you will be able to get it no problem.
Okay.
The Armadillo and Chaotix are just fine, and that's the reason why you're going to be bringing extra food and more brews. So starting off the kill here, we're going to get right into it here.
Okay.
Ajanexi, how you doing? John Valerix is sad in the chat. Alright. John, we're not going to be raiding today. We're not going to be raiding right now. I'm just going to do a bit of Araxxor and then I'm getting off for the night. We just got done with our 72-hour double XP stream, and I think we're into hour 73 right now, so. Alright, getting into Araxxor, I'm just going to explain it as I go, alright?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Not a problem. So I'm going into Araxxor right now. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Protect from Mage. I'm going to go ahead and turn on my Anguish Curse, pop my Overload, and hit my Enhanced Excalibur. Instantly, what you're going to want to do is burn the web. Get right on Araxxor, start dealing some DPS. Now, normally it doesn't do a mechanic till the 5th hit, but I've noticed that the first time it does a mechanic, it can do it on the 3rd or the 2nd hit sometimes. But once it does that first mechanic, basically what you're going to do is count to 5. Second hit, 2, 3. You just count his moves. And on the 5th hit, what you're going to do is you're going to use either Anticipate or Freedom. And basically what that's going to do is that's going to negate the mechanic. So it's going to either allow you to get out of the cocoon faster, or it's going to protect you from being pulled in for the cleave, or it's going to stop you from attacking when she web shields. Now normally what I do if she web shields is I also go ahead and use Escape. Now you do want to put thresholds in between here just to, you know, pump out as much DPS as you can here. Just stay on Araxxor. Remember to count those 5 hits. That's really all that phase 1.
Oh, every 5 hits using special attack?
Yep. So you want to make sure that you use Anticipate or Freedom. Now you may not get it down the first couple of tries. It may take some practice to actually be able to do it perfect. But like I said, it just takes time. Alright, moving into second phase here. The first thing she's going to do is she's going to summon eggs. 3 eggs. If it's 2, you're going to take 1200 damage. If it's 3, you're not going to take much damage. It's 300 damage. And just get right back on Araxxor. Now remember...
Go to next. Okay.
Now remember that she can still use mechanics in between summoning her minions. So like right there, she cleaved rather than summoning her minions. So... you kind of just got to be wary of when the minions come out, and you also have to be wary of avoiding the mechanics just in case the minions don't come out. So basically, phase 2 is the same thing as phase 1, except there is the eggs and the minions. That's it. And as well as all the other mechanics in phase 1. Alright, minions came out. You can tell by the spiders splashing or dashing out of her feet. On the 3rd spawn from the first wave of minions is going to be the special spider. It's going to be either pulsing or mirror back. What you want to do is you want to go ahead and kill that one first while staying off of Araxxor. As soon as you see the minions spawn or the baby spider shoot out of her legs, you want to instantly get off Araxxor, because on that 3rd spawn, if it's a mirror back, then you're just going to end up deflecting all the damage that you're doing right back to yourself. Alright, second wave of minions coming out right now, so which means the second spawn is going to be the special spider. That time it was the mirror back down, killed it first time, or I got off Araxxor and killed it first. Make sure that you always want to focus pulsings and mirror backs before even getting back on Araxxor or before even attacking any of the minions, because for example, if you were to use a corruption shot or an AoE ability, you could really end up hurting yourself. 3rd wave of minions coming out, which means that the first spawn is going to be a special spider. Now after the 3rd wave of minions, there's only going to be one more wave, and on the 4th wave of minions, there is no special spiders. There's just normal damaging spiders, whether it's melee, magic, or ranged. So just kill off those minions, finish off the rest of them from the 3rd wave. And I'm going to go ahead and run to phase 3 here, rather than hanging around for that 4th wave of minions to spawn. Should you always take out the smaller, non-special minions? It depends. I would until you're comfortable with Araxxor, until you're comfortable with the mechanics, because the mechanics, she can actually kill her own spiders. So until you're comfortable with killing them and until you're comfortable with her mechanics, I would just kill them personally yourself. Don't let the mechanics kill them, because you're going to be taking a lot of damage from keeping them around. So the 4th wave of minions just spawned. I'm killing them off here. We're in 3rd phase. Basically, 3rd phase is all the mechanics in phase 1 and all the mechanics in phase 2, excluding the minions. If you've killed all the minions, all the waves, then she won't be able to spawn any more minions. There's only 4 waves. Now remember, the 1st wave is the 3rd spawn special spider. 2nd wave is the 2nd spawn special spider. 3rd wave is the 1st spawn special spider, and 4th wave no special spider. Now the additional added mechanics onto phase 3 are, like I said, are going to be everything that is in phase 1 and everything that's in phase 2, including the mechanic from the differential path that you didn't take. So basically, the mechanic from path 2 or middle path is a insta-kill spider. So she now has the mechanic to be able to shoot out a web blob. Now I'm kind of going to slow down DPS here just so hopefully she can do that mechanic, just so you see what it looks like. Oh, also she can summon highly acidic spiders, but this mechanic doesn't matter. You do not want to worry about this mechanic. The little green spiders that are on my screen, it says lure highly acidic spiders. You do not want to worry about those at all. Alright, she just summoned the insta-kill spider. So as you can tell on the screen, the web shot out. Now there's a green blob on the ground, which means there's the insta-kill spider. You want to stay as far away from that as possible, because if that thing touches you, it will do very, very high damage. Now, if you have a sign, of course, a sign of life, you probably will survive. In fact, you will survive, because that's what it's for, is to bring you back from the dead. But I've seen cases where, like, you know, just crazy stuff has happened, and, you know, like the insta-kill spiders can be very dangerous. So basically, you just want to phase through this. Like I said, don't worry about the highly acidic spiders. Remember to use your Anticipate and Freedom to avoid the mechanics every 5 hits. And you don't have to worry about no minions. So, I mean, it's pretty chill. Phase 3, I like it, you know, especially if you're going top path, because normally you've already cleared out the minion waves. Normally you've already cleared out the minion waves before moving into phase 3. Now that may not always happen. Like, during this example, I actually had to kill the wave 4 minions on the phase 3. Now remember, if you do not kill all the minion waves by the time you hit phase 4, she will summon those spiders in phase 4. She will.
Okay.
Which means that you want to go ahead and kill off those waves before you go in phase 4, because it's going to make it such a smoother phase 4, and it's going to make it so much easier without dealing with that extra damage, or without dealing with any special spiders. So we're just about done with phase 3 here. We got one more mechanic. Go ahead and stand on the eggs. Let it blow up. Take that 300 damage. And here we go into phase 4. Now, this is where a lot of people have trouble with Rax. Now, instantly, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go ahead and escape to a Dren stall. Make sure my prayer's all the way up. Hit my Enhanced Excalibur. Double check, make sure that I'm overloaded, and get ready to fight. I'm going to hit one more escape. Here we go. Now instantly what she's going to do is she's going to shoot out the opposite attack style. I was protecting from mage, so she's going to send out range. Now for the first 50k of health, she still can use every single mechanic that she has. So not only do you have to prayer switch, but you have to use Freedom and Anticipate every 5 hit in order to avoid the mechanics. I got pulled in right there for the cleave, even though I used Anticipate a little late there. Go ahead and keep pumping out these thresholds. Keep prayer switching. Make sure your health's up just in case. And then past 50k health. Hold on, let me get off real quick just so I can show you what's going on here. Past 50k health, every single hit that she throws out is going to get harder and harder. She's going to enrage for every single shot. Every single one of them, she gets tougher and tougher. Now, when she hits 25k health, this little black acid core is going to come out, and it's going to start bouncing around. Now what that does is that is supposed to bounce 5 times before it finally hits you for a typeless damage that increases for Enrage. So basically, a lot of people like to have 100% adrenaline during that time, or right before 25%. That way they can just onslaught and continue to prayer switch and kill off Raxi before the acid core even hits them. Or most people do death swiftness as well. You know, there's a lot of different methods to it. And like I said, it does get harder during, you know, I mean, every single kill, Raxi enrages 20%. So, you know, basically you have to keep doing it and keep doing it and keep doing it. And sooner or later, it's going to become second nature. Will, after how many attacks should you prayer switch? 3. I wait until she shoots out. Basically, when I'm standing here, and when I hit the escape, and then I hit the, you know, escape again, she's going to start shooting out the range webs, you know. And I wait until she's just about to shoot out the 3rd one before I switch to that range prayer. And that way, those 3 incoming attacks are instantly going to be negated or halved. And then that 3rd magic hit that's coming in is going to come in a little bit faster than those range ones did. So you instantly have to be ready and be watching for that green blob or that magic hit to come in before you switch to the magic. Now remember, as soon as you switch to the magic, what she's going to do is she's going to automatically send out the opposite style again. So be ready to wait for another 3 range hits and then protect from range. Now remember, if you have low life during this phase, or if you have low prayer, or if you're not overloaded, or if you need to eat, a lot of these things can add up during this phase, which makes it very difficult for a lot of players. Not only that, but the fact that once you get it past 50k in health, then it stops doing all of its normal mechanics such as the cleave, the cocoon, or the web shield, and it then instead focuses on damage or enrage stacks. And basically, like I said, each consecutive hit after 50k health is going to get worse and worse and worse because her enrage stacks are getting higher. Now, this continues on for the rest of that 50k health. So, like I said, things can really add up during this process, and it can be, a lot of players find this very difficult to do all these things at once. But remember, once she hits 50k health, you no longer have to use Anticipate or Freedom to avoid the mechanics. But then again, you also have to remember that once she hits 25k health, that's when the Acid Core comes out. And that's when it starts doing its bounce before it finally decides to hit you for the typeless damage. Now, I've seen in a lot of rare cases, not that rare, I mean it happens to me a lot, even on 300% enrage, and you know, you just kind of have to eat through it. But basically, I've seen her spawn the Acid Core at 25 as soon as I passed 25k health, and without it bouncing around 5 times, I got bad RNG, and it decided to just so happen to land right where I was standing. Now, if it does that, remember, just move 1 step, and then hopefully it doesn't get bad RNG again and continues to do the 5 rotation bounce before it finally locks onto you and hits you. Now remember, you can always move back and forth and back and forth and back and forth and juke it, but sooner or later it will finally hit you. I think the most I've ever juked it was 9 times in a row after the 5-hit dash, or after the 5-hit bounce, which is pretty crazy. But I also used escape, and you know, I kind of ran around and made sure I was DPS and Rax at the same time. So, but that's really it. You know, after the Acid Core and after all that, she only has 25k health left, and you just got to make sure you DPS her enough to kill her without her killing you. And just got some overloads and some battle staffs for that kill. You have any questions, man?
No, I'm just, you know, need to practice on that. That's a lot of new information.
It really is. It really is.
Yeah, I'm absolutely sure that I'm going to die like in the couple first times.
Alright, so I'm going to go ahead and do another example for you on stream. And I'm just going to barely describe it for you just to kind of remind you of what's going to be happening during the kill. Now, remember that right now I'm at 40% enraged, so this is going to be 40% more enraged than what you're going to be killing it at 0%. So you probably won't be getting hit as hard as I am, but it also depends because you are wearing that lower tier gear. So you may end up taking just about as much damage as I do. I don't really know.
Oh no.
I would have to do the math between tier 70 and, you know, tier 90 and then the prayer value and the, what's that?
Do you have Venom Blood on your set?
A what? Venom Blood? Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, if you do not have Venom Blood, if your gear is not augmented and you do not have Venom Blood, you will need an anti-poison potion.
Yeah, I